How you doing, everybody? This is Tony Robles, and this is Listen and Be Heard Radio for readers and writers. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button for updates and alerts. Our guest today is somebody who, I really feel is an honor and a privilege to speak to. Um, Billy Mills is the author of a new children's book called Wings of an Eagle, The Gold Medal Dreams of Billy Mills, which was co-authored by Donna, Janelle, Bowman. Um, well, first of all, Billy, thank you for being with us. And your book here, Wings of an Eagle, it's just lovely. I picked it up here in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Um, I understand that, okay, Donna Janelle Bowman contacted you, and she's I guess, the co-author of this children's book. Tell us about that. She actually talked you into it.
Yes, Donna had to work very hard to to come out and talk to us. She'd been writing and studying the Lakota culture and writing about me, I believe, starting in 2014. And of course, I always wanted to do a children's book, a book that I felt could change lives for the better. And I just had a couple concerns. And then Donna was contacting Donna Janelle Bowman. And I was getting to feel like I knew her because she made so many attempts to contact me. And our schedule was hectic traveling. This year, for example, around 300 days out of the year. So we were just always putting her off. And I was getting more and more interested in doing a children's book. Then she was coming to Sacramento. So we met. She walked in. I had some concerns about writing a book, not with Donna Janelle, but just writing a book that I felt had to be addressed by me. And she walked in and we started talking. And she answered my concerns. It was almost like a gift coming in the door. One of the concerns, for example, I wanted to make sure oral history was a vital part of the book. Written history has so many untruths based on opinions. And Donna Bowman walked in with knowledge to a greater extent than I thought she would have of oral history. And she was willing to learn more about oral history. And putting oral history and written history together comes truth.
Mm.
And I wanted to write a book that was based on a strong concept of truth. And Donna brought that to me.
So it was a real collaborative effort where I guess two hearts that were kind of beating in tandem kind of came together towards that race towards truth. I wanted to ask you, the book starts, and it's very significant for me because, the book starts on October 14th, 1964. I happen to have been born in 64. So when you were on the starting line in Tokyo in the Olympics for the 10,000 meters, I was about 3 months old. I perhaps didn't even know how to walk at that time. We always have this vision of, okay, runners, starting line, on your mark, get set, go. But for you, in reading the book, your race really started way, way before that. Take us there, because getting to that starting point, there was a starting point that came way, way before that starting point. Tell us about that, because it's so beautifully illustrated and told in your book.
Well, I'll tell it in more of a complete concept. But for me, the book was born when my mother died. My mother passed away. I was approaching 9 years of age. And my dad told me, son, you have broken wings.
Mm.
It takes a dream to heal broken wings. He told me it takes the dream, it takes you down a path, introduces you to a passion in life. So you develop your skills to equal the passion, bring them together, magic happens. And over your lifetime, one or two of the magical things you do just may be looked upon as a miracle. And my dad had me believing in magic. He had me believing I could create miracles. Then he died. And I was not ready. I was not ready to meet the challenges that I faced then. Just the lack of diversity in America, the lack of inclusion, for example. Uh, and I broke. So then the book was solidified. The Olympic race was solidified when I stood on a chair last year in college at the National Cross Country USA Championships and being asked frequently to get out of the photo when a photo was taken of the top three or top five. And I was going to jump. I didn't want to kill myself. I just wanted to go where it would be quiet. And then I heard underneath my skin movement, energy that sounded spoken, unspoken word, don't. And it sounded like my dad's voice.
Mm.
I got off the chair. I wrote down a dream that I was going to pursue to heal a broken soul. And it was not the destination, it was the journey that was going to heal me. I wrote down gold medal, Olympic 10,000 meter run, Tokyo, Japan. The Creator has given me the ability. The rest is up to me. Believe, believe, believe.
You know, there are many things in the book, many lines in the book that are really telling, that really kind of get into the depths of the soul of who you are. One of which is, all you need is one person to believe in you. You know, and I know that there were many people that believed in you. There was the community. In terms of your writing, um, you know, you had written down in journals things that you were going to do. So in a way, you were kind of running, but you actually writing towards your dream as well. There are other writers that I know that have been runners. For instance, Ron Rash, who's a novelist here in North Carolina, he ran long distance in college. The Japanese writer Haruki Murakami actually is a marathoner who's run marathons, I think the Honolulu Marathon and the Greece Marathon, since 1982. So there are connections with the writing and and the running. Can you talk about those connections as it relates to your journey in getting to this children's book?
Between writing and running,
Yeah.
connection there. Well, my connection might be a little different. Uh, I wanted to take that feeling. I wanted to take that feeling I got from running, uh, a runner's high,
Hmm.
and I wanted to be able to put that into writing. I didn't have the ability to do that. I struggled on occasion until Donna Janelle Bowman entered our life. She had that ability to take what I felt
Mm.
and put it into writing. And I would read it, and it was magical. And she brought such a incredible opportunity to me to tell a story. Two things happened. I also, being half white, half Lakota, I know the Lakota world. I do not know the white world. I know the white world by how I was treated, and I had to battle to overcome and still find my place. So I go to the virtues and values of the Lakota culture, generosity, wisdom, bravery, patience, respect, humility, compassion. And I put that into the core of my training. And when we started writing, Janelle or Donna was able to take those virtues and values and put them into a sentence. And she was creating the magic that I was really not able to create.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to do, and the similarity that I found, I'll put it in this manner. A virtue of the Lakota people is honesty and truth, but they're separate. And I'll describe them this way. And you can see how they're played out in our leadership today. Honesty. I wanted to share when I ran, when I was trying to write, I wanted to share my emotions and my feelings with the reader honestly. But I had to be cautious because I wanted to do it truthfully. Truth is an accurate expression of what you honestly feel and what you honestly want to share through words, your emotions and feelings. I had to avoid getting trapped, which most people do, when they look at honesty just as honesty. And that's sharing your emotions, your feelings honestly, even though what you're saying may not be the truth. Are you sharing your emotions and your feelings honestly, knowing it's not the truth? You want to deceive somebody. So there are major pitfalls if you just look at honesty. I wanted to speak truthfully. So running, one of the most challenging things I had to do was to truly say to myself, I want to heal a broken soul. I want to pursue the Olympic Games. And I'm willing to do the training, to make the sacrifices, to totally commit to the pursuit of trying to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games, to heal a broken soul.
So I guess the race and that whole scenario may have been a race towards truth.
Absolutely.
On the one hand, it's the physical, but in that whole process, the discovery and getting to that destination of truth is where the real race really began. You won the race, but that's where it really began at that point.
Your wisdom is coming up now.
Well,
And
the
Donna Janelle Bowman was able to put that truth
well,
into words.
well, the thing is, you talked about the values of your the Lakota, your people: fortitude, humility, respect, generosity, honor, bravery, wisdom, and compassion. And I'm thinking, as a young boy of Indigenous blood, uh, having to take that in and carry that, as being a young boy myself, having been a young boy, you know, having to deal with one of those would have been overwhelming, but to have all, to have all of those is really something. And what I wanted to find out was, this is a children's book. Um, did you have to put yourself in a position of a child's mind in the process? Because there was a Russian writer named Maxim Gorky, and one of his famous quotes was that, you write for children the exact way that you would write for adults. The only difference is that you do it better. So, I mean, what was that like? Because, you're trying to, write for a child, which is different than an adult. What was that like?
Well, fortunately, the Donna Janelle Bowman, uh, she brought so much to me in creating the book. She could take a thought I would share and she could put it into writing in a manner I felt it was being written by an elder, a Lakota elder. speaking with the kind of the storytelling concept of the Lakota people. And she was able to do that. And I felt her bringing words to life. And I could do it, but not in the manner she did it. She truly, truly brought the life that you're expressing to the book.
So
And
I guess, in a way, she was able to, uh, perhaps, maybe sprout those wings. Maybe the words became wings. There was wings on the words because, that's what I guess that's what the poets do. I know native poets. That's what they do. They bring life with the word. And
the
that's what
what
happened.
I wanted to bring to the book, and she was totally unaware of what I'm going to describe to you, but she was able to still bring that to the book. Uh, the way I look at the young people today, my tribe, Sitting Bull, one of our great leaders, when he surrendered, he simply said, let's take the best of both worlds and build a new world for our children. Those words and those footprints immediately became misleading. Treaty signed, treaties broken, boarding school trauma, the genocide, the doctrine of discovery. So our elders said it would take 7 generations for our young people facing this devastating trauma to heal. That, with my tribe, that 7th generation is in the classroom today.
Mm.
So I wanted to take the virtues and the values. They're the group that can take the virtues and the values, culture, tradition, spirituality, along with their dream and along with the person sitting in the chair next to them, into the horizon of America's future to choreograph and mature this incredible democratic experiment. So I was feeling that, and I look upon our grandchildren who are our 7th generation, and one great grandchild, and I look at the people that are sitting next to them in the class. They may be from Asia, maybe from Africa, maybe from Europe, and I look upon them as they're the 7th generation from their diversity. So that entire 7th generation in America coming together will choreograph the horizon of America's future. And I wanted to try to put those into words. I was not able to. Donna Janelle Bowman was able to incredibly, uh, in her own way, speak the words that I wanted to speak.
Well, one of the and there was many, many profound things that were written in the book, uh, not the least of which was "We are stronger together, connected by love and culture." There was a part in the book where it shows the interconnectedness of community by way of a blanket, where the people that had resources or were able to have some kind of success or material items would share those things with the community. And I thought what was beautiful was that, um, I guess, in your journey, in your life, was what were you going to share, right? What were you going to bring to that blanket? The images in the book, there were three that were kind of really stuck out to me. The circle, your father had you in the circle and said, "Hey, you have broken wings," the blanket, which was the community coming together in this interconnected community, regardless of what other band or whatever tribe you happen to be from. You're part of one spirit, one people, and then also the wings. Um, can you talk about one, maybe one of those symbols?
I could put several of them together. When I was trying to make the Olympic team, one of our elders on the reservation, a descendant of Chief Red Cloud, his name was Oliver Red Cloud, and he became our chief in for about 15 years in the 1990s, and then departed on his spiritual journey. Oliver Red Cloud said, Billy, remember, you come from the heart of everything that is, the Black Hills. Remember, our most powerful prayer, we are all related. So you make the Olympic team, you're going to another country. Many other countries are going there. You'll be meeting our relatives. We're all related. So you take the heart of everything it is. You take our most powerful prayer with you and share. My father told me earlier before he passed away to sit down with other societies, take my culture, traditions, spirituality, extract the virtues and the values from them, and sit down and share them with other cultures. You'll find common ground. That common ground would bond you, friendship, and then you can discuss your differences in a civil manner to empower one another rather than hurt one another. So I'm going to the Olympic Games with those virtues and values. I'm flying into Tokyo. My wife, Patricia, came 10 days later. I'm flying into Tokyo. I look out the window and I saw Mount Fuji. It was so powerful, so spiritual. I thought, my gosh, this has to be the heart of everything that is to the Japanese. I watched as we walked sightseeing throughout the communities in Tokyo, and I saw the Japanese men and women bowing to the Europeans. And I think I was one of the few that understood. They were not submitting. They were saying, I still respect you. I'll still respect you. And that just took a hold of me. In the village, I read this book that the Japanese leaders wanted the children born on the first day of the first atomic bomb being dropped to the day of the opening ceremonies. They wanted their children born during that period of time to see the world as one. I took that with global unity through the dignity, character, beauty of global diversity. And we are all related. And then he said, you must have your giveaway. You must give back. The concept of the blanket in the book, where people are putting things on the blanket that they're given to somebody maybe in need, or to honor somebody. You must have your giveaway when you come back, Billy. So I win the gold medal. My wife and I decided we're going to pursue global unity through the dignity, character, beauty of global diversity. And that fits right into this democratic experiment. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we will pursue that. And I wanted to take those virtues and values and those concepts to the classroom. And again, Donna Janelle Bowman was magical. Talking to her, I tried my writing. She's so far superior in putting the thoughts I wanted to have, the thoughts I felt, putting them into words and bringing them alive.
Well, you know, the book is beautiful. The illustrations are really, are really lovely. Um, we have the image of the circle, and in the 10,000-meter race that you ran in Tokyo, not exactly a circle, but an oval, and you're running 10,000 meters. I guess it's 25 laps, and there's a picture here in the book, a picture of you. Was that Gamoudi or was that Ron Clark?
Repeat that now.
The person right next to you, was that Gamoudi or was that Ron Clark?
Okay, there's me. It's Gamoudi breaking between me and Clark.
Yeah, so you're running and it looks like he has his hand near your forearm and he's kind of pushing you out of the way. But I notice here with his hand, his hand is right here, kind of trying to push you out of the way. It almost looks like a wing.
Yes.
It's almost like in that moment, he kind of gave you a wing there, in watching that footage, because I came upon it actually by accident on YouTube, because you can see just about anything on YouTube. But in in watching that, it was one of the most as far as inspiration, one of the most prodigious things that I can say that I've seen. Um, and I'm not talking, I mean, I have admiration for people that can achieve a lot of physical things, but it just seemed to me in that race that there was something else going on. I mean, you're among the elite athletes in your sport, in the world, but that final kick, it was almost like, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but you ever see the Roadrunner cartoon where, he's trying to catch the Roadrunner. He has that thing with the dynamite, and it's like the rocket to try. It was almost like that. I'm like, well, God, where did that come from? That energy. It was almost like you had just started the race fresh and not the final lap. I mean, can you kind of take us to that? I mean, it's just
This, bear with me because I want to set the stage. And after my dad died, and I came so close to suicide. I was a junior in college going into my senior year. And what I mentioned earlier, I was going to jump. Just wanted to go where it was quiet and never come back, just where it was nice and quiet. And it's like hearing my dad's voice, don't. I wrote down the dream to heal a broken soul, Olympic gold medal, 10,000-meter run, Tokyo, Japan. And I started training for that. And that's when I dealt with truth and honesty. I truly had to be honest, truthfully to myself, that's what I wanted, and I wanted to heal. And in college, my college coach asked me, what are your dreams? And I said, I want to make the Olympic team. He said, don't dream too big. You falter in the latter part of races. Said it was mental, psychological, low self-esteem. I knew I didn't have low self-esteem. 13 months before the Olympic Games, I was diagnosed as borderline type 2 diabetic in the Marine Corps. And they said you drop drastically, but not into the danger zone. And that's where your energy goes. You have no energy. We don't know how to help you. Just experiment with diets. Try a high protein diet. So the last 13 months of my running was my career. I started trying to address that, and I was able to start focusing. I trained through every race in 1964. I did not rest up until Tokyo, and I was going low blood sugar in races. I was trying to find out how can I keep from going low blood sugar. Tokyo, Japan, 25 minutes before the race, I'm going low blood sugar. I begged the U.S. officials for, give me a candy bar. They said, no, you don't eat candy before a race. A Japanese official came to me, and in his broken English, he said, I find you bar.
Yeah.
I find you bar.
Right.
I mean, a candy bar. I ate the candy bar 20 minutes before the race. I was going low blood sugar, but I wanted to, the whole concept was to heal the broken soul. We line up, the gun goes off. I didn't see the smoke. I was close enough to hear the sound. And my first step was, I have to win this race. I have no idea at the time where it was coming from, but my first step, I have to win this race. Clark on the second lap gets on world record pace. I joined the field, 5 of us. I'm almost ready to break, but it was not, I can't stay with them. It was still positive. I've got to take the lead and strategically slow the pace down. I took the lead at the 5,000-meter mark. We're on world record pace. And I started to slow the pace. Clark went by me. And I thought, oh my gosh, before I could analyze what he's going to do, 30 yards, then he slowed the pace. It was positively, the pace is too fast for him also, running on a cinder track, We're off world record pace, but we're under an Olympic record pace. 2 laps to go. There's 4 of us left. Mama Wolde broke. He starts faltering. The pace again is too fast for me. Again, I can't go with him. I have to strategically slow the pace. I took the lead. Clock went right by me, 30 meters. Then he slowed the pace. So I'm into the race to the finish. 4 days before the Olympic 10,000, I ran 200 meters out of the blocks to see how fast I could run. A slow start. The Japanese coach timed me. A coach from Germany timed me. And he said, just do a running start. So I slowly could start running across the starting line. I shouted across the infield, how fast? He said, not too fast. I said, what was my time? He said, 23.3. You know how to start, proper start, maybe 23 flat. I'm going, yes. He said, what event? I said, the 10,000 meters and the marathon. He looked at the watch. He said, oh, very fast. But that gave me confidence. If I could be with him to the finish or to the last lap, I'm in the race to win. 1 lap to go. Clark took the lead. I'm on his shoulder. We're coming up on a runner from Africa. We're ready to lap. And Clark was letting me box him in. He lost the Commonwealth Games earlier by being boxed in. It was, my gosh, I can't believe he's letting me box him in. Once I get him boxed in, I'm starting my kick. And that's when Gamudi was going to go past me. Clark pushed me out into the third lane. I stumbled. Gamudi told me later, my friend Billy is pushed. He's out of focus. Clark has to be out of focus. It's time for me to strike. I closed the gap, and Gamudi's into full sprint already. He told me later, Billy, I thought I could squeeze through. He tried to turn, tried to squeeze through. He said, I know I pushed you. Non-intentional. He just said it's the moment of heat of the moment. Clark pushed me out, not intentionally, just the heat of the moment. I'm going low blood sugar, so I decided I'll let them get maybe 10 yards ahead of me, 100 meters to go. I'm going for the gold. We're there, but I'm still somewhat low blood sugar. I'm struggling, lengthening my stride, lifting my knees, pumping my arms. And Patricia, my wife, was 14 rows up, 3 seats in, about 85 meters from the finish. And I'm going by, and I don't want to look because I could see her as I'm coming out of the curve. And I had a runner come in front of me. We're lapping. I go by the runner. I glance out of my eye. He turns a little bit. The center of his jersey was an eagle. I'm back to my dad. You do these things, son. Someday you can have wings of an eagle. Wings of an eagle. I can win. Then this incredible moment of empowerment. I'm going to win, but I may not get to the finish line first. It's like, did I contradict myself? I'm going to win, and I'm going to try to get to the finish line first. And then I feel the tape break across my chest. I told the official that came up to me, I have to find the German. I have to tell him the eagle on his singlet helped me win. The wings of an eagle helped me win. I found the German. There was no eagle. It was a perception. Then the official said, what can we do for you now? I said, I want my wife. Within moments, they're tapping Pat on the shoulder. Mrs. Mills, the new Olympic champion, requests his wife. She comes down, we hug, and within, I don't know just when, but I told her, Pat, I know what it meant. I saw the eagle of the German shirt. There was no eagle there after the race. I'm going to win, but I may not get to the finish line first. I'm healing a broken soul. And in the process, I have a chance to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games. And it was just empowerment, just lifting my knees, pumping my arms. And I think what people see and what you saw was the gift being put in me. The empowerment I found, it was just, and it was not to become an Olympic gold medalist. It was, I'm healing myself. And the tape broke across my chest. And I immediately felt I choreographed it. I orchestrated it. I believed in it. I truthfully wanted to achieve it. And it's a gift. It's a gift. So back to Oliver Red Cloud, I had to give back to the blanket in the book. I had to give back. So we co-founded Running Strong for American Indian Youth and been working in poverty communities of America. I put the prayers together for Bread and Water for Africa under Christian Relief Services. And I think uh, Bread and Water for Africa we started with Kip Keino, the gold medalist from Kenya. We're helping many communities. We help his wife at the school in Eldoret, doing many charitable things, all because of a gift. So I was able to take the blanket where people on the reservation would put gifts into the blanket globally because of sport and because of unity through diversity.
I think too that, you have to be receptive enough and have humility enough to realize that you can receive that gift and have the eyes to see when that gift has come, because your father told you that so long ago, and it truly became full circle at that moment. um there was a guy, another Olympian that came out, I guess 1988, Evander Holyfield, who became heavyweight champion of the world. He uh he had a quote that I always liked. He said that, if you can feel the pain, you're in the game. He said that, when you get nailed, he said, if you could feel the pain, he says, it's just when you don't feel nothing, you're out. Uh, and I think, for a lot of us, what I was so inspired by was when I saw you run that race and that final kick. It's that was that kind of dream, that kind of moment that we all want. That we see so many people that don't achieve their dream. They don't achieve what they could have been. They do, they it's like so many things that didn't happen for them, and that was it, that race, seeing you do that is an example that, it doesn't necessarily have to be a 10,000-meter race, but that moment, that there's a moment for us that's out there. And, particularly for young men too, like, a lot of us are portrayed as, being no good, and the way it's being portrayed right now. I think men, particularly young men, uh, need to know that, because I think with your father telling you that, that was, I guess, a way of building some character in you. And if we could build that in men, as men, we can build that, because we can tear down. That's been proven, right? But if we can tear down, we can certainly build. What's the message that you would have for young men in particular? Because I think we need that, you know?
I would start first by telling the young men America needs to hear their voice. America needs to hear their voice, one of unity, one of wanting to make the world a better place. I would challenge young men, all young men, to learn about the Doctrine of Discovery, written in 1493, courtesy of the Vatican, encouraged by the kings and queens of Europe. The Doctrine of Discovery, in reference to the New World, Arctica to the Antarctica. It simply states, in regards to the indigenous people in the New World, the indigenous people must come under international rule of law. Their laws, their religion, their songs, their dance, customs will no longer belong. They must get rid of them. They must come under international rule of law. They must become Christians. But then within a decade, if we became Christians, our ancestors, they could own land. So that's that period of time throughout the Americas. This is not an attack on Jesus Christ. It's how people misinterpreting are using wisdom, knowing that's not the truth, to deceive people can be vicious. The Doctrine of Discovery, Indigenous people cannot own land. If we became Christians, we could own land. So that's when they said we were not human. We were not human. We had no souls. And Father Sierra from California was made a saint at the request of multitudes of Indigenous women who were violated. Children were imprisoned. All they asked was Pope Francis to denounce the doctrine of discovery. It created multitudes of hardships. He did a year ago, July. He called it genocide. So the Western movement began, the doctrine of discovery, genocide, then slavery, treaties signed, treaties broken. And then the following slavery, Jim Crow, then the war on drugs to make hippies and young black men felons. They dropped hippies, included men of color, indigenous men from the Americas, to make us felons. The war on drugs has been very successful in damaging our young men. So those footprints are etched into every fiber of our social way of life, our educational system, our political system, forever influencing our rule of law. And we're in a country today which wants to exclude diversity, equity, inclusion, when more than ever, the need to understand it has to be accepted. And our men reading the Doctrine of Discovery without anger, accepting it and saying, my voice is going to be heard. My dream can come true. And we are stronger as one. We support one another. Indigenous people, people of color, the diversity of America can create and mature this incredible democratic experiment to the sacredness that we all seek.
Well, the book illustrates that in in the most basic and the most profound way, and heartfelt way. Again, this is Wings of an Eagle, and this is The Gold Medal Dreams of Billy Mills, co-written by Donna Janelle Bowman. I want to give a shout out to Donna Janelle Bowman. She is an alum of Vermont College of Fine Arts, which happens to be my alma mater. Billy Mills, the gold medalist of 10,000 meter, the 10,000 meters in in Tokyo in 1964, which happens to be the year I was born. It's been an honor and a privilege, because when I saw that race, when I saw the footage of that, I just felt like that push, that to be able to dig deep and to confront yourself and to overcome those things that are broken in yourself, to break free and to sprout those wings and to fly just like your father had told you in that circle in the book, is it truly one of the most prodigious things I've ever seen, one of the most inspirational things I've ever seen. I think people could be inspired by watching that race, because there are a lot of things that come into play beyond athletics. You got the spiritual, you got a little bit of everything. Again, Wings of an Eagle. If you want to get in touch with Billy Mills, again, he did co-found an organization, a nonprofit organization called Running Strong for American Youth. Again, Running Strong for American Indian Youth. Running Strong for American Indian Youth at indianyouth.org. That's indianyouth.org. And again, the co-author of this book, Donna Janelle Bowman, she has written several books for children. And her website is donnajanellebowman.com. That's Donna, Donna, Janelle, that's Janell, Bowman, Bowman. it'll be on our website, Listen and Be Heard website. Again, Billy Mills, thank you so much for being with us on Listen and Be Heard Radio. Once again, if you're watching our program here on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. And again, Billy, thank you so much for being with us. Much appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Billy, I would love it if you could read some excerpts from the book. I mean, we'll put that on the air as well. And what we'll do is I'll send you the link to the program when it airs. I'll send that to you, and then you can share it as well.
Okay, we lost you on the screen, but you can hear me, correct?
I can hear you. Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm going to read what you just captured as you prepared to close, and it's one of my favorite parts. October 14th, 1964, Olympic Stadium, Tokyo, Japan. 38 world-class runners gather on this rain-soaked track. All eyes are on the favorites, world record holders, a previous gold medalist, the best of the best. Most people don't notice me. They don't know that I am Oglala Lakota, Native American. They don't know that I have wings. But in 25 laps, 10,000 meters, 6.2 miles, they will. I say that because when I shared with you that our young men, their voice needs to be heard, and needs to be heard along with a dream and that commitment to pursue their dream. And collectively, the students in the classroom across America, that seventh generation, before and after the seventh generation, collectively, their diversity will choreograph the horizon of America's future as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I thank you because you were able to grasp how me, with this incredible help from Donna Bowman and her magical words that she put in the book, that I could feel my Lakota culture. Uh, I thank you.
Yeah.
You understood.
Thank you. And the thing is, when I watch that footage, when I do watch that race, I think of a life. I think about my own father, who's going to turn 80 years old in December, and I think of you know running it, running it and running it and finishing it beautifully, finishing beautiful, finishing beautiful, and starting beautiful. That was just beautiful.
If we're closing, I just say thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed this interview.